Hello, hello, Heal Squad. Welcome back. Glad to be back with you guys on this Monday morning. We have another special episode that we have lined up for you guys today. But before we get into the episode, I just want to make sure that you are aware of any triggers. So this is an official trigger warning because this episode does discuss the aftermath of the LA wildfires, including destruction, displacement, and animal rescue. So please take care and caution while listening. I know that the last episode, I didn't mention that, and forgive me, friends, because I was not thinking. But one of our viewers definitely made me aware of it. So I wanted to make sure this time I let you guys know there were a few tears and some potential triggers. As you know, it's been a really tragic time in LA as the wildfires left destruction, devastation in cities like Pasadena, Malibu, the Palisades, and more. But what's really important to know now is that these cities are rebuilding and their residents are slowly beginning to heal and move forward. And the LA community has come together in a really big way and shown a generous amount of support to the families who have been displaced. Today, we're going to be chatting with a few good women and men who have tirelessly helped our city heal. And I want to start today by chatting with Pasadena Humane Society's Chief Veterinarian, Dr. Maria Pyrdek, who has been involved with the rescue and aid of more than 500 animals from the wildfires. But before we get into that, our quote of the day: we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And that, my friends, is from Winston Churchill. Dr. P, thank you so much for being with us today. It was a mission of mine to get somebody here from the Pasadena Humane Society because I was very moved by an interview that someone did. I don't know if it was a volunteer, I can't remember, where they said, if you see an animal that's hurt, if you see a stray, please just bring it here. And the fact that there was just no strings attached, no, we're at capacity and we can't handle anymore, which I know you guys were probably already at capacity and couldn't handle anymore. I was like, okay, not only am I donating, but we need to let everybody know. And I've always been a fan of your shelter, but I'd love to know a little bit about what you have experienced, what you've seen. I know it's been an emotional time, I'm sure. It's awful to see people suffer, but I know a lot of us also have you know, such sadness when we see animals suffer too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really happy to be here and, talk with you, talk with the whole Heal Squad audience. Um, yeah, and I mean Pasadena Humane, I mean we've been serving the community here, in our service cities in the area around us for over 120 years. And I'm pretty sure that it's safe to say this is the first time we've seen a disaster of this magnitude hit our communities. And it's really been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this organization who is here, who is set up like with the staff and like when our community is in crisis, like we were able to answer that call and serve our community in crisis. Like despite the fact that even our own employees and our own volunteers are also facing uncertainty about the fires, they've also been evacuated. But and the need in the community was so great to help these animals that, like that's a calling, and so everybody was here to answer and pull together and, found a way to support each other through that as well.
So we're coming up on 3 weeks on these wildfires since they began. How are the animals doing? And have most of them been reunited with their families? I know that you guys took in what, like some 500 animals, right?
Well, it's actually a lot more than that. We've taken in, at our shelter, over 900 animals. We're just really utilizing our framework and our systems to make sure that the animals who are coming in who just need, emergency housing while their families, sort out what else is happening in their life. Like, we can't solve every problem, but what we can do is provide like a safe place for that animal to be housed and cared for so that, somebody who's lost their house or is uncertain about what's happened to their house, like, that's one thing off of their plate that they don't have to worry about. So they
And
have
you
more time and attention to focus on other things. So we have those animals who have come through.
and
We
you
also
guys
have
did that at no cost to the owners, right?
right.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then we also have animals who are stray. There are a lot of animals that, as these fires came through, they came through very, very fast, especially the first and second day after these fires. The number of stories that we heard of people who, are in their pajamas, who had 5 minutes to grab whatever, and like they couldn't find their cat, they couldn't find their dog, and they had no choice or were reinforced to leave. Like those animals are running somewhere, they get picked up as a stray and they come to the shelter, and then we're working really hard to identify who is that animal, scanning for microchips, and then we get to deliver the happy news that their animal actually has arrived at the shelter and then provide that person, with their peace of mind. And so we've done, here at the shelter, over like 350 like reunifications of animals like that.
Mm.
And then also, like, we've been able to serve as a hub for, like, the national disaster response for the care and evacuation of animals who are left behind or, who are unable to leave those burn zones. So we've been working really hard with a lot of our partners from other shelters, from other agencies, from other disaster relief agencies who have come in, and created strike teams who are authorized to go behind the burn zone and, respond to calls from the community for people who want us to check on their pets, want us to, you know, like check and see what's there, and then we can rescue those animals and bring them to the shelter and reunite them, or reunite them in the field. And so we've done over 1,000 of those reunifications in total. And I don't know, I think about that number, and that's 1,000 pets who have been reunited with their families. So 1,000 families that get to stay together because of the work that our organization is doing, and that's incredible, and that's pretty powerful. And we still
So,
are gonna continue that work. We're not done yet.
and I imagine you guys got a lot of hurt animals. What was that ER situation like?
Yeah, we're in an incredible community. As soon as the scope of this disaster, even the opening scope was becoming apparent, we had clinics reaching out from all over our area. And so in a disaster response like this, I mean, the first couple of days, it's really about providing housing for pets who have had to evacuate or been displaced. And then from like day 3 through day, 14, it's really about kind of finding injured pets or pets who have been displaced and then bringing those animals in. So, you know, at the end of day 2, day 3, that's when we really started seeing animals who were pretty severely injured and affected. We're seeing a lot of smoke inhalation cases, where animals are just really having trouble breathing and they need oxygen assistance. We started seeing, the burned paw pads. There's one husky who particularly, and I'm a husky person, so they always stick out to me, but, one particular husky who came through, and his paw pads are all burned off. He's really painful, really difficult to walk, and then you can just see his fur is singed everywhere. He's got burn marks where clearly some sort of falling, like, burning debris has come and created burns all over his skin, and he arrives at our clinic just totally exhausted. And, so then we jump into action and start treating him. And so what we did in our clinic, and
Can I ask you a question
oh,
before you
yeah, of
move on?
course.
Did you find his owner?
We have not found his owner yet.
Sounds like you might be taking him.
Well, oh, that's tough. I gotta talk to my husband about that first.
Well, my other question is, can their paw pads grow back? How does that get rectified?
Yeah, with any burn wound, they're painful and they require some pretty intensive bandage changes. So and it depends how far it's burned. So most of the animals who have come through, we've been able to start them on regular medical treatment. We've utilized partnerships with other hospitals in order to transfer some patients for care. So we're splitting that burden of care around our area, and it's regular bandage changes, sometimes daily. As they start to improve, we can push that out to every few days. Regular pain medication, and then they do start to grow those paw pads back, they grow their fur, they heal their wounds, and, our goal is to, give peace of mind to owners who then can reclaim their pets, and their pets are well on their way to recovery as well.
Dr. B, how does it work financially? Because you guys are doing all of this work and you're reuniting the pets with their families. Do the families ever have to pay these bills?
Yeah, that's a great question. We are very much in service to our community, and we see the need, and we want to respond to it. And our community has also been incredible at helping us to meet this need and respond. So, I mean, our goal, like, we want to reunite pets with their owners. Like, that's number one. The care that we're providing, like our animals, we don't know if they're owned, we don't know if they're stray, at least when we're treating, like, the people who are taking these animals in do know, but, like, as a doctor and as a medical team, like, that doesn't matter to us. Our goal is just to provide the care that that animal needs, and so, um, the short answer is no, like, we're not charging for this medical care, and part of that has been our community has really responded. They've been really generous in providing us with a lot of supplies. They've been really generous in providing us with the financial donations that we need so we can get exactly what we need for these animals in that moment and provide care for them.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Makes me like so sad because I saw a video of a guy who was reunited with his animal. It went everywhere. It was all over the news. And he literally took his little dog and was screaming at this in the streets like he hit the lottery. And it
Mhm.
was just being reunited with his baby. And
Right.
so, the fact that you guys are doing this so that families can know their animals are taken care of in their moment of need, but also, these bills are usually incredible for families to have to tackle. So
Mhm.
that's why I was so moved, and I'm sorry I'm crying, but it's just
That's okay, you'll make me start crying too, so
it's really
it's an emotional
special.
time for everyone.
Yeah, it's really special when people do things and help in these moments. So I just think it's really special what you guys are doing. How can people who are watching or listening to this help Pasadena Humane Society continue to
Yeah.
do this work?
There are a lot of ways that our community members can help. We did have to slow down some of the, like, in-kind donation supplies, initially, but we're able to, accept supplies, for pet owners again, and so we're working really hard at distributing those out into the communities. It's a really great way in order to help, pet owners who have lost everything, like, get their basic supplies so they can take their pets back home with them and care for them, even if home looks a little bit different now. You can absolutely look at fostering. Our organization right now, um, we don't have a ton of dogs available for foster, and it's kind of the nature of our population. But we've utilized a lot of partnerships with other shelters around, and so I would absolutely be encouraging people to reach out and foster and adopt dogs from those shelters because that helps to create space for more animals who need care. And then by far the most critical, and most helpful for us is financial donations. Just the freedom to make decisions without having to worry about what the cost is. I mean, it's a tremendous release of a burden for our staff and just allows us to do the work that we feel so passionate about.
Amazing. Well, we will leave links to everything in the episode here. Dr. P, thanks for all the great work you guys are doing over there. And
Yeah, and I just, if I'm able to, I just wanna share, like, one more, like, kind of brief thing 'cause we've talked a
yeah,
lot about, a lot of the really great work that we're doing for the pet animals, but at Pasadena Humane, like, our mission statement is to provide humane care for all animals. So, yes, that's dogs, that's cats, and it includes, the goats and the chickens, and even, like, the koi fish that are in people's ponds, but it also includes wildlife, and so like we have an entire wildlife department who is also ready and receiving, injured and burned wildlife who are impacted by these fires, and providing care so that those animals are also able to return back into their wild homes when they're able to as well. And I would be remiss to say, we're only talking about dogs and cats, but people's donations and their help for our shelter helps to support all of those animals, not just a small percentage.
yeah, I saw the little deer in the fires. It was so sad. So thank you guys again for everything you're doing and keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow, to think that our animals have suffered so much is heartbreaking. But Heal Squad, don't forget, you can still help Pasadena Humane Society by donating to their fire relief efforts, We're going to link all of that information in our show notes. Now we're going to bring in a hero that was there on the day one of the fires, who helped save so many homes from burning down, but had his own unfortunate story as well. And that is California firefighter Chien Yu. I feel like, you know, no one could imagine what you have gone through. You have been a resident of Altadena and you're a firefighter there.
Yes.
How long were you a firefighter in Altadena?
Well, I actually work for the city of Pasadena.
Okay.
I've been on for like 18 years.
Wow. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, no, that night the winds were just out of control. Like the fire stopped because the wind stopped. There was nothing we could have done.
So you left your home because you got called, or were you already at work when you got
No,
called?
I was at home. We were having dinner, and the power went out, and then we saw the glow from Eaton Canyon where the fire first started, and we kind of got gathered some stuff, and my wife was smart enough to tell me, "Hey, let's start gathering some stuff." I know, not in a million years would I have thought like it would have come down towards our house. So I put some stuff in the car, and the kids gathered some stuff, and eventually we got the evacuation orders on our phone with the Amber Alert with the big alarm.
Mhm.
So then the kids got in the car with my wife, and the car was already loaded, and she evacuated. And I just thought like, oh well, I'm gonna go into work.
Were you called into work or you just knew you should go?
No, I just knew I should go because my brothers and sisters are gonna need help because of the wind.
Yeah. So, okay, because there were so many fires, I know that there were people who were woken up in the middle of the night and had to run in their pajamas, basically. Was that not the case in Altadena? Was it a different timing?
Um, I've seen different things where some people weren't getting alerts, but for us, we did get the alert. So, but like I said, I never imagined it coming down to our house. I don't consider myself like, oh, I'm on the hillside or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And you're a firefighter, you're an expert, so you're like, I got this. And your wife
yeah,
was like, yeah, let's take stuff just in case.
yeah. And, I didn't grab anything. I was like, all right, I'm going to go into work. I have underwear, I had socks, so I'll be good. I didn't work. I got ready. I went to my station. Initially, I went to Station 34, where our battalion chief is, to kind of see what the direction was. But they were extremely overwhelmed with calls. I think last we heard, it was like that day we had over 500 calls. So I went to go get dressed at my station, and I went back, and they said, "Go in there, get in that rig with another engineer. We're both engineers, so and normally we're staffed with 4 people." And they just said, "Hey, get in there with Engineer Sean Banks and go to this house fire and start fighting fire. Be safe and evacuate people." So that was just wild on its own. Like we never ride just 2 people on the fire engines. And going in, you can see debris everywhere, fallen branches, and I was like, "Oh man, like this is going to be unimaginable," with the fire going on.
But did you ever expect what happened next?
No, like when they said, "Hey, go to the address," we were in a neighborhood, just like a suburban neighborhood by Pasadena High School. So we weren't like I wasn't going to the brush fire. Like it was just unbelievable.
So you went to this suburban area, you're fighting this fire, and then at some point you thought about your home.
Yeah, this was like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock that we went out to that neighborhood in Pasadena, and we were just kind of fighting fire, and eventually a captain joined us and 2 firefighters joined us, so we actually had a crew. So we were just kind of going around the neighborhood putting out house fires, as many as we can, and eventually it kind of calmed down. So around midnight we actually got positioned by my neighborhood, by my house. We were at Altadena and Fair Oaks. And
After you had saved all these other homes.
yeah, what the best we could do, yeah. There, but it was so smoky, and the winds were out of control, and the embers were flying everywhere. We couldn't really see, so we kind of turned around that block. And at that time, I was like, "Hey, is it okay if we swing by my house to see if my house made it?" So around midnight, my house was still standing. Kind of thinking back, I should have done more. Like maybe I should have grabbed some stuff, but it was just kind of like in shock. I was kind of in shock, of all the things that were going on. So we drove by and we got a different assignment. We got intercepted by the sheriffs and like 5 or 6 buses to go help evacuate an elderly, like living, assisted living. So I would say like around 5 or 6. And that's when we went back kind of like in my neighborhood and we started, putting out house fires.
And then at what point did you find out about your home?
Yeah, so like around noonish, they got me some relief. They took me off the front lines. The volunteers in a van came and picked me up. And at that time, I was like, "Hey, can you please drive by my house?" And of course, they were gracious and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever you want." So we turned on our street, like, and I don't know how, but a couple of houses on our side of the street were standing. So it kind of gave me hope. But then further we drove up, it was just kind of to the ground.
I'm so sorry. How is your family doing?
I think overall we're doing okay for what it is. My wife is on the Pasadena Town Council, so she's been in a whirlwind of uh, kind of helping the people find resources and stuff. And like I think half or maybe more than half of the Town Council, they're all volunteers. They lost their homes too. So with what we're all going through, they're also scrambling to help people. And the kids are doing I think as good as they can. Their school burned down too, so they're kinda in limbo, but I think we got word that they should be starting soon.
Did any other firefighters lose their homes?
Yeah, going through, this process, I know one of our firefighters lost their homes. He was living with family, but they lost their home, and I guess the word is like 12 firefighters have lost their homes in this Eaton fire.
It really was unimaginable. What is kind of your status now? Are you guys staying with friends? Where are you?
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate, like we're not staying at the convention center. We have some friends that kind of took us in, and then we're staying in a house now where the we can't thank her enough. She left, and she was like, "Hey, you can just stay here, use anything you want." And she extended her stay where she's at for another week, so we get to stay another week. Looking for housing, some place to rent, but I had a realtor go help us, and she was like, "There's like 10 other families here that are in the same situation, so it's gonna be tough." We just have homeowners insurance, and I believe that covers it just because we're like I said, we're not like in the hills, so I'm working with some guy and he's helping me and he's like, "You are underinsured."
So how do you get housing at this point? Do you right? Like, because you're not gonna get any assistance from insurance, it sounds like.
Well, we're underinsured, but they're gonna give us some for loss of use that can go towards a rental, but they're saying that the the rebuild's gonna take a long time.
Yeah.
So that's gonna probably run out. So I mean, we'll just figure it out when we get there.
Chen, we have your GoFundMe. Ugh, sorry. Mhm. We have your GoFundMe. We're going to share it with the Heal Squad. There's also a video of you finding your wedding ring. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we were out there, and I was kind of half joking because I thought it was gone. I was kind of half joking, like, "Hey, my wedding ring was in my dresser, and maybe we could find it." Of course, without even asking, my crew kind of jumped in there, like, "Hey, where's your dresser? Where would it be?" So I kind of showed them the location, and of course, they were looking through it, and eventually, like, they really found it. I was in shock.
Well, I think, this has been so, so devastating. The beauty has been seeing the community come together. How can the Heal Squad community help the firefighters who are still working out there? Because it sounds like, and forgive me for not knowing officially, it sounds like they're still trying to contain the fires, right?
Yeah, they're working on it. I think last I saw was close to 90% containment. And that just means kind of getting around it to make sure it doesn't spread, making like a perimeter around it. But I'm not sure, like my GoFundMe, I'm really gracious for all the support I've received, but if the Heal Squad, they want to support other random GoFundMes and from people in Altadena, it'd be amazing too, or if they feel compelled to, they can support our school at Pasadena Waldorf School. They have a GoFundMe going, but I've received tremendous amount of support. So if they can support my little community in the school, I think there was like 50 teachers, staff, and family members from our school that have lost their homes. With the city of Pasadena that I work for, I think they said there is around 70 families that have been affected. Like if you want to look at donating to them, it'd be great. But at the station, we've been supported amazingly. We've been getting water, getting snacks, getting food delivered. So I think we're doing pretty well right now.
Oh, wonderful. Well, if you have any of your fellow firefighters who lost their homes GoFundMe's, because we're really big on direct connections because there are so many scammers, please share it with our team and we'll put it in the link here. In the meantime, for sure, right now we're going to share Chien's GoFundMe for you guys, for him and his family. And listen, I know that even if you get more and more than you ever needed, you'll probably be distributing it. I can already tell who you are.
Yeah, I mean that's my plan too. I really want to give back to the teachers and staff that support our kids so much. So hopefully I can direct some of the funds to them too. So
Amazing.
thank
Chien,
you.
thank you so much. My heart goes out to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, sorry for getting so emotional, guys. It's just really hard. If you want to help out Chien, we do have his GoFundMe, like I mentioned in the show notes. Right now, we are going to bring in a woman who happens to be a very good friend of mine. She has spearheaded relief efforts with her company, the Alist. Ashlee Margolis is here to tell us about the donations that she's been collecting, how long LA will be collecting, and the things that we can donate now, and even the stories that she's heard from some of the families that the A-list has donated to. You are such a gangster. I mean, you are the epitome of a leader. When things happen, you need a leader, and you are a leader. And I'm so grateful for what you're doing. So, if you guys don't know Ashlee Margolis, not only is she my friend, but she runs a really cool company called the A-List. And the A-List is a full scope marketing agency, and you guys represent so many incredible brands, and celebrities go through and pick out cool stuff, and there's this whole thing that goes on. Well, Ashlee has now turned her cool venue into a relief center, and a showroom for relief. And it's basically like relief headquarters, if I am explaining this properly. So Ash, what made you jump into action?
It was so natural. We have the connections to the brands because I've been doing this for 25 years working with brands. We went out to about 100 brands on day one. Our clients, we represent about 25 brands here, and then sent out a BCC, I think, to about another 100 brands in our database. Um, and in the first week, it was just, friends and family. My best friends lost their home, my sister, and all of the people in our close community, all the agents, managers, actors, publicists, stylists, hair, makeup, florists, vendors, security company people, caterers, just people in our ethos that have been in the A-list family forever. Just close friends. I mean, I grew up here, so I have a lot of friends that live in all the areas affected. I said to the staff on week one, anyone that you guys want to come in, any of your friends, any of your family. One of my employees grew up in the Palisades. Her family lost everything. Another employee's boyfriend's family lost everything. So in the first week, it was just like helping everyone closest to us. And then my girlfriend Deborah Marcus, who works at CAA in the philanthropy division, she connected me with the LAUSD Education Fund, and we're partnering with them to get all the families and teachers from LAUSD Pasadena and Altadena. And I'm really lucky, actually, too, that I got connected with KLS Worldwide Chauffeured Services, and they're going to start helping us bring families because we're having a hard time getting those families from Altadena and Pasadena here. We're now working on just all the volunteers that are volunteering here, asking them, do you want to drive families from Altadena and Pasadena here? stay with them, drive them back, or you can drive them here. Another volunteer can drive them back. So we're working out those kinks. Every second of this, every day changes. So now we have put out there this scheduler where people can go and schedule. And we're seeing people Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays between 11 and 5 or 11 and 6. We were doing every single day, even the weekend in the first 10 days. And then we all were physically, emotionally burnt. It was the hardest thing about this is talking to everyone that walks through. And me and my staff, we weren't really prepared for that. And there's a lot of tears every day, every day. And so I have
Because
to,
people are coming in and they have nothing, right? They don't have clothes. Like, explain to people
okay,
because I don't
how it's
think they
worked.
understand. Like, they're coming in and they're doing what?
Okay. So they walk in, they're given a bag or a box. The first couple days it was given a box. Now we have people that are bringing really big bags. And we have the whole place organized by, we have a women's building, and that every room is organized by size. Every woman that comes through can take 3 sweatshirts, 3 sweaters, 3 long sleeve shirts, 3 short sleeve shirts, 3 dresses, 3 skirts, 1 to 2 belts, 1 to 2 bags, 1 to 2 scarves, sunglasses. Jennifer Lopez was one of our first big donators, and she dropped off so much stuff, including probably 200 to 300 pairs of sunglasses.
Well, you can probably auction that stuff off and make
I was
money that will
thinking about
be
that.
even
We're thinking
better.
about that. I feel like we need to run that by her, and that's a bigger
Mhm.
conversation. But to be honest, there's so many people that we work with that are big, that go to award season and lost everything, and people that have supported my company that have been my friends forever. So I'm like, you know what? When all these people need to work at the SAG Awards, the Oscars, the Grammys, and they don't have any, I keep getting these emails. I lost everything. My friend lost everything. I'm like, everyone lost everything, everything. So back to the process. They walk in, they do that building, and then they go to the other building. And there we have shoes for men and women and kids. We have a newborn room. We have a toddler room. Then we have a kids, I think it's like 4 to 12 years old room. We have a boys area, a girls area. We have a beauty room. We have a hair room. We have a makeup room, skincare. We have home accessories room. And then we have men's, and that's all in the other building. And families are coming and really loving the experience because there are a lot of amazing places doing what we're doing, but they're a little bit more swap meet style. And the feedback that we receive every day is like, thank you for making me feel whole, comfortable. Thank you for providing a warm, loving, because we're by appointment only. So we started with 5 families an hour. And then after the first day, I said, can we push it? The next day, we did 6 families an hour. The next day, 7. We're up to 10 families an hour. Today, I want to try 12. When these families walk in, or individuals, the words they are using are, this is humiliating. This is embarrassing. So it's hard to see like your peers come and feel so humiliated. We're giving them a bag or a box to come, and they're like, I can't believe I'm in this situation. This is very, the word humiliating and embarrassing comes up a lot. A lot of people are sending their friends, or friends are writing in saying, my friend can't bear the thought of this. Can I come for her? Um, so to give people like, we want to see so many people at once and get everyone in, but people are like, this was really, gave me hope. This has just been so helpful. I don't know where to begin to rebuild when I've lost everything down to, and it's just they're so overwhelmed. They don't even know where to begin. So it's been really nice. We have people stationed in each room, the volunteers that really understand what's in that room. So when someone comes in, they're like, I don't even know what I need. And someone could be like, okay, do you wear mascara? What's your skin type? We have this. And people that really understand what's in each room. We tell each employee to really get to know the room they're in, whether they're in the women's extra large clothing room, whether they're in the beauty room, whether in the shoe room. Get to know your room that you're volunteering in so that when someone comes in, you're able to work it like you're in a store. You understand the merchandise.
Yeah.
You understand what you're working with. And then we have volunteers that just take people around, that hold their bag. Because I think like the whole like holding a bag even or holding a box feels very degrading. So to have someone else hold it for you,
That also could be traumatic because if they did even get to leave with a bag, now there's like so much attached to that. But it sounds like what you're doing, Ash, is you're providing like a low stress. When you get a swap meet style, like I saw all the donations and I was so moved when I'd see piles of clothes everywhere, but that's so much stress. When you already don't know what you need, now you're searching through piles of stuff. You're giving them this kind of humane experience where they can go shopping, feel like human again,
yeah.
but without all the stress because they're so traumatized.
Exactly. And actually, today I was just over there before coming here and I said, let's not put anything new out on the floor. We have in the women's building, I haven't looked at the men's, but we have so much stuff right now and so much is coming in. I was like, let's hold it for 2 days. Let's get a little depleted because we have so much stuff. And people, I think, are actually feeling overwhelmed in our space because we have so many incredible donations, so many
Can you
brands.
share some of the brands that have been amazing?
Oh my God. Steve Madden, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Lululemon, unbelievable. Posh Peanut PJs, unbelievable. Um, Olaplex, hair care, unbelievable. Josie Moran beauty products, shampoo, conditioner, unbelievable. Ilia Beauty makeup, unbelievable. New Balance sneakers, unbelievable. Loft and Taylor, unbelievable. J. Crew, Madewell, unbelievable. Nick and Zoe came yesterday. We just got this, I think it's called Little Joa. I buy it for my kids. It's super soft. Um, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Just tons of brands, and it's still coming and coming and coming. And we want to do this for a while. So, every time someone reaches out now, I'm pushing it out 1 week. I'm like, please don't drop it this week, next week. And then, like, every day I kind of push it out so that we have a steady flow. We're finding a lot of people aren't showing up for their appointments. They're overwhelmed. They're at home. They're on the phone with insurance. They're trying to find a new place to live. They're trying to find a school. So that's why we've been upping the appointments a little bit because we're having a lot of no-shows.
Yeah.
So we're able to, we're getting into a rhythm every day. I feel like we're getting into better and better systems. Um, and we just got a really big donation last night, which is really exciting, which is going to allow us to hire one of our volunteers who she's an organizer, Shara Koplowitz. You know Shara.
Yeah, of course.
Shara
She's like the ultimate organizer, period.
so there's like 10 people that have just like been here every day. And she's one of them, like opens up the place, closes the place, hasn't missed a day. And we couldn't do this without these volunteers because I still have to run the A-list, and
Yeah.
I've taken like 4 to 5 staff that 90% of their lives now is this, and I have to get them back to the A-list. Um, so we're figuring out how are we gonna do this for months, and I realize I'm gonna start going on my Instagram, and people are saying, "Do you need money?" And at first I was like, "No, no, no, just stuff." Now I'm gonna start asking for money because we want full-time security here. There's a guy who I just said hi to that someone just sent, like, people are sending us security because I'm putting it out there on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, on the A-list Instagram, and people that are helpless, that have the means or live in other states are actually sending us security guards, and so we have the whole dock now to organize the security
Oh,
guards, but we need someone every day while we're doing this because 'cause we're on the ground floor,
yeah.
and we need to be really careful, and some people have posted our address, and it's not
Yeah,
hard.
it gets tricky, like, you do something good, and then you have to worry about the
Mhm.
other stuff. I know that, um you're going to do this for a long time, which I think is really amazing because that's a big commitment while you're trying to run a business and you're a mom and you've got so much going on. But you also are kind of leading the charge to not have life just end there, not have events be canceled because LA has gone through so much with the strikes and COVID. Can you tell me a little bit about how that's going to?
That was really exciting. I did like a campaign that I pushed to go viral, and I pitched Chris Gardner at the Hollywood Reporter, and he wrote a great article. So last week, I had an event that was supposed to be right when the fires were. We pushed it 1 week because Elizabeth Banks, who is an investor and was a host of this event, it's called Cadence OTC. It's an over-the-counter birth control, and it's on the market now. And they're fundraising. I mean, it's an incredible product, an incredible brand. And Elizabeth was going to shoot a movie. She's like, I can't, push it any longer. And I said, okay, let's just do it. So we had this event at my house last week, and this was an event for people to fundraise for this company, Cadence OTC. And I was talking to my event producer, Jessica Gehring, who I use for a lot of my events. And she's like, Ash, I just had 3 Grammy events canceled. And she said, a lot of my vendors lost their homes in the Altadena fire, lost their apartments in the Pasadena fire. And now they're losing work. And these vendors rely on the events. And I was like, I'm here. I just got off a call with 2 clients, one who canceled one Grammy project. It wasn't an event. And then another client who called and said, should we cancel our March event? And I was like, no way. And so I said, I want to interview all your vendors that you have here at my event right now. So we interviewed the bartender, we interviewed um, like the floral girl. We interviewed the guy driving the golf cart. We interviewed the caterers, and they all helped us with this little PSA where they said, don't cancel events. And they said, I rely on this money. I'm a student. I'm a this, I'm a that. I need this money. This city is not just producers and actors and studio runners. This city relies on all the valet
Staff. Yeah.
companies, staff, the florists, the bussers, the craft services. Um, you know, that is the fabric of this city. Um, all the vendors that I've worked with for years, to think of them losing business, they were already crushed in COVID. They were crushed in the strike. This town was crushed in the strike. We cannot afford, this city needs business, it needs life, and the event industry and the Hollywood industry of premieres, of fundraisers, of celebratory events. First of all, we need community right now. We need to be around one another. Um, One of the things with this drive that has been so amazing is the community in it, whether it's the volunteers, the victims. People are loving having this kind of healing space of gifting, but of crying, of sharing, of community. It's been so healing for everyone. And the same with events. People need community, and it's for their mental health. Work is for their mental health.
Yeah.
Being busy, you know, I love being so busy. I don't worry about things as much when I'm so busy. I don't
Yeah.
have time.
Are
People
you seeing the tides shifting? Are people going forward with events now? Has this
So
helped?
I'm a lot of people so we posted this thing, the Hollywood Reporter ran a piece, and we had a 500,000 views on it. We had over 1,000 people reshare it. Actors, florists, valet companies, stylists, hair, makeup artists, everyone that relies on events to happen. Over 1,000 people reshared in all different sectors. And then I went to the Balloon Museum with my kids on Sunday or Monday, ran into a friend who runs events at Hulu. She said, "We got your message loud and clear. We discussed it. We're not going to cancel events." And I'm
Wow.
hearing a lot of people say, "We're not gonna cancel events." I feel like just tie it in with a charity. Where there's a million causes to support
Yeah.
right now, a million places to raise money. Let's have events. If you can't come, and you can't be a part of it, you can't. But I think it was 20% of LA has been affected. I could be completely wrong. The rest of this city is here. We need work. And even people who've lost their homes, the florists, the caterers, the valet guys, they need to work
Yeah.
more than ever. So I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing is that the message is getting out there. I think Ted Sarandos just made a similar statement. And so I think this whole city is on the same page. I saw like one or two comments of people saying you're tone deaf. And I get it, but I don't think those people work with vendors in the way I have for 25 years.
Yeah. But I
The
think that's the important thing is to share because I know for me when things like this happen, my sensitivity level is so heightened and you don't want to feel like I had a show that aired and they wanted me to promote it. I'm like, I can't. I can't promote it. But I do think that once people understand the foundation of it, these people who are affected are so highly affected that they don't have fire insurance and now they're not getting work. So it's even worse than you could ever imagine. So I'm really grateful for everything that you're doing, but also for educating all of us on why we need to keep moving forward.
it's more important than ever. This town took such a hit with COVID and the strike. We cannot afford, our workers cannot afford this. And when I heard the stories of all the vendors that were at my house for this luncheon, they were like, "Thank you so much. I will say everything you want. I cannot afford to lose more work. I just lost a ton of work that I had in the next 2 weeks for Grammys." I mean, all these Grammy events got canceled. I don't understand why they couldn't have kept them and and
Made
and
them fundraisers, like you
made
said. Yeah.
them fundraisers. That's
Yeah.
what we need. We need to raise money. We need community. We need to get messages out there for important organizations. We need to support our vendors. We need to support the people who are the fabric of Hollywood.
Well, Ash, I love you. I'm
Love
so
you.
grateful for you.
Thank you. No, it's been like the most. I said in my staff meeting yesterday, I was like, this has been like the most like fulfilling and like I've always been involved with like a lot of charities and I love it. But this has been a new level of um fulfillment and I feel so charged. I can't sleep at night. All I do is think about this. And I'm really fulfilled. It's been really great. Really great. So yeah, I'm grateful to like all the brands who have donated to my staff and my partner who's just been lockstep with me and all these volunteers who have just been here um every single day. New volunteers keep coming and the connections that people are making here and the volunteers that come who have lost everything too. Maeve Riley, a big stylist. I mean, we cried. She got some stuff
Maeve
for
lost
herself.
everything too.
Lost everything. Got
Ugh.
some things for herself and her husband, and then stayed for hours. And there's been a lot of volunteers who have lost everything, and they come and work all day. And then they take people around. And for someone to be
I can't.
it lessens the blow. It's so much less humiliating when you have someone taking you around that's also going through the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the therapy that's exploding out of these two buildings. And I'm like, I need a sign outside the room I work in, like a do not disturb, because I can't. They keep saying, Ashlee, this family wants to meet you. These people want to meet you. So it's just figuring out, I don't want to meet everyone. It's too much. I can't. It's like,
Yeah.
it's too much for me.
Ash, how can someone who's listening help?
I mean, we're going to need volunteers for a long time. So we'll figure out a way to, it's like hard because I'm like nervous to expose ourselves in these.
No, of course.
That's what
Well, you have your Instagram. People can follow you guys on
Yeah.
Instagram, and then you guys
Yeah.
will be doing your call outs there. So it's just
That would be great. They
Alist,
could
right?
follow us on @thealist.us. We post every day what we need. And today we need tables because the company that donated our tables are now pulling back. They need them back. So we need tables immediately today. We're going to employ some housekeepers who have lost their jobs and hire them here. That's going to be exciting because a lot of housekeepers lost their jobs. I mean, my handyman lost 28 jobs through 28 clients that lost their homes. So we're talking about how can we employ him here more. And I think that follow us. I think following us, and then when we give a call out, like yesterday, we were like, we're low on underwear, and 5 people DM'd, a lot of stylists who have the contacts and DM'd Victoria's Secret's on it. Everyone's got connections to something. We don't need toasters. We're not taking furniture, but some people are going to start, like my girlfriend Melinda Maria. She's going to come and do like one-on-one jewelry. And then my friend Lisa Gainsley is going to do lymphatic for people. And so that's a cool thing. Someone else is going to come and do eyebrows, waxing for women. So vendors are going to start coming and just offering services. My physical therapist came and set up a table and started working on people. And so it's just been the way like the communities come together has been incredible. So
But you always need the leader to bring them in. So you're an amazing leader. You're an amazing human. I love you and thank you. All right, friends, I know that was a tough episode to get through for me, and I'm sure it was not easy for you guys as well, but thank you for hanging in because we have to keep learning and keep sharing. And I'm just grateful for everybody for everything that they're doing in LA and around to support them. So thank you guys for everything. In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.
Hey, Heal Squad. We have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram @Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.